to Stan the Wine Man TV. I am your host, Stan Rattan, and this is the Blue Collar Wine Show where I help you spend your wine dollars wisely. We're into December now, got the tree up, kind of cool. I love Christmas time. Seahawks play today. This will go up on Tuesday, but I'm shooting it Sunday morning, believe it or not. I'm shooting this Sunday morning before I go to work because yesterday I got busy doing a bunch of things, and I actually like to do them on Saturday because Susie's at work and I have the house to myself. Well, Susie took off to work earlier than I do, so I have the house right now. We're at number 88. There you go, showing a little gram love. I always have trouble wearing 88 because I'm a golfer, and I see these numbers on my scorecard way too often. So going to do the holidays, especially, I love Christmas because I always do a prime rib at Christmas. I know a lot of you do like to do ham, things like that. But we tend to, spend a little bit more on wine during Christmas, even more than we do on Thanksgiving. I know I do. Thanksgiving's a big wine holiday, but Christmas time seems to get people excited about bigger wines, cabs, Amarone, Bordeaux, and in this case we're doing Nebbiolo, which is from northern Italy, Piedmonte, if you like that way of saying it. And I like Barolo, particularly Nebbiolo, for ham. I think it's a great ham wine, but it could stand up to beef, certainly. This region can be confusing for a lot of people that, I know for a lot of consumers and customers, it's difficult to understand what's going on with these wines. Because you get something like a Barolo, and you're going, what the heck is a Barolo? Well, a Barolo is made from Nebbiolo. Barolo is the actual region or town inside of the Langhe region. And Langhe is a fairly big part of Piedmont. And we could liken it maybe to the Columbia Valley, where you have, Rattlesnake Hills, you have Horse Heaven Hills, you have Walla Walla, are all part of the Columbia Valley appellation. Well, Barolo and Barbaresco are within the Langhe region of Italy, northern Italy, Piedmont, and they're considered some of the best wines from this region. They're DOCG wines. They definitely produce excellent, age-worthy wines. And unfortunately, well, for some people not unfortunately, they've started making them so they're ready to drink sooner because, consumers are just impatient. They don't want to buy a wine to lay down for 5 to 10 years. Just too much for them. So they've kind of edged off the rusticity of some of the Barolos and Barbarescos. And the difference between Barolo and Barbaresco, both made from Nebbiolo, but from different parts of the Langhe region. So that's kind of the way you explain it. Another big area inside of Piedmonte is Monferrato, and in there they have the Asti region. You might have heard of Barbera di Asti. Well, Barbera is a grape in itself. So actually when you see Barbera, you know it's the grape. But a lot of times when you see Barolo, Barbaresco, you have to realize that they come from the Nebbiolo grape. And they put a lot of effort into these wines. Piedmont, especially Barolo, Barbaresco, are considered the Burgundy of Italy because they're just tend to be a lot like a Pinot Noir, except a little different. Of course, a lot different in flavor, but still they're treated with that grandeur, that respect that they treat Pinot Noir in Burgundy. Does that help you at all? I hope so. I hope I didn't confuse you. Now, the first one we're going to do is the GD Vera Langhe Rosso 2015. Now, Langhe Rosso, this is 100% Nebbiolo. Okay? It's from Langhe. So they actually source the fruit from anywhere in that larger region, like Columbia Valley, but not specifically from, let's say, Barbaresco, Barolo. They have a lot of areas. Nebbiolo's, Barbera is the most planted grape in Piedmont, but Nebbiolo, of course, they plant quite a bit of Nebbiolo, and it gets great respect. So this first one is the GD Vera Langhe Rosso basically Nebbiolo. It can be confusing. I know. I understand. Trust me. I understand. Totally. In fact, I woke up this morning thinking about, let's see, there's Barbera d'Alba, there's Barbera. What's the other one? Finally it came to me, Asti, of course. You know, there's a lot of things to remember in the wine world. And so here you go. Here's a little close-up. This rolls in at $12. So great value. I have it for sale down at King's Market, just so you know, those who are watching from my hometown. I have it for 12 bucks. I think the suggested retail is around 15. Let's see what we get on the nose. By the way, I've had this wine many times. I love this wine. I think it's a great value. If you want to know what Nebbiolo is all about, look for this Langhe Rosso or other Langhe Rossos. Just make sure they're 100% Nebbiolo. So I get right off the bat, kind of a sour cherry thing going on. Just a hint of rust and a little bit of licorice coming through. But mostly it's like a sour cherry pie. There's actually some ripe cherry tones coming through on the nose as well. Let's see what we get on the palate. This is a beauty. Talk about a great wine if you're having spaghetti, which you may do before you get to the actual big meal of Thanksgiving. I could have this easily with ham. The salt of the ham, the rusticity of this wine would work beautifully. There's actually the cherry notes on the palate are riper, but it has that nice rustiness, that rust component that comes through underneath, and a ton of red flowers. And me not being always can identify the exact red flower this is, it's like violets. It's like, which are not red. Anyway, it's like violets and rose petal, and just you get the idea. There's a lot of red flower on the palate. Even getting a little lilac component. There's just a touch of funk on the backside. What I like about this wine, though, it's ready to drink now. What did I say? It was a 2015. It's young, but it's ready to drink. And when you get to the point in your palate where you start really seeking out these wines, you've progressed in your palate history. Whatever, I'm trying to pull out a word. In other words, your palate has progressed quite a bit. You may never get to the point where you enjoy these wines. But I've noticed with everybody's palate, if they just experiment a little bit, if you just experiment a little bit, you'll find that you start liking different wines, and you will find that you will enjoy these wines that have a little bit of that rusticity. This baby has a long ass finish. I'm just telling you, it is long. I can still taste it. My mouth is watering because now at the backside, the cherries kind of turn a little bit sour, but not mouth puckering. I would recommend, if you want to try a Nebbiolo for the first time, I would seek out a Langhe Rosso, make sure it would probably more than likely be Nebbiolo, and give it a try, because I think you could probably handle this. I can drink this by itself. I really could. But it really does well with food. I would do anything if you're doing like a charcuterie platter. This would be awesome with salami, pepperoni, anything like that. It would be great. It would work with prime rib because it has enough going on, but I wouldn't suggest that as a classic pairing. I think lamb would work really good, as well as ham. I think either one of those would work fine with this. And yeah, it's a great wine. Yeah, the perfect amount of rusticity, fruit, flowers, all of that kind of blends nicely together. Not hugely complex, but there's complexity to this. I'm getting a little leather on the backside. I'm gonna go B plus A minus on that wine. I think it's a classic example. It's a great example of a really good Nebbiolo at a really affordable price that could break you into that part of the palate world, let's say. let's move on. So this one makes it a little bit easier. It's the also J.D. Vera, Langhe, and it tells you the grape Nebbiolo, but there's a bunch of stuff on it. I think this stands for Claret JC. It says Clara JC on it. This is a 2016, so even younger than the first one. Let's give this one a, this rolls in at $24. Get that? I've never tried this one, I'm excited. I like the J.D. Vera wines. This is a new one for me, but this is also Nebbiolo. Can you imagine drinking Nebbiolo at 8:45 in the morning? I'm doing it. But I prepared my palate. I had some salami. I put some savory things in my mouth, some cheese. That's what I had for breakfast, so I could prepare for this episode. When I went to Italy in 2006, we were out tasting Chianti at 9 in the morning. So go figure. I called it Italian mouthwash. It was crazy. Let's see what we get on the nose. So this is a little more muted than the first one, and I'm assuming this is because of the age. It's a 2016. Yeah, in fact, it's very challenged on the nose. Very challenged. I get almost a vanilla, cinnamon vanilla component. It's almost like somebody put a little vanilla oil and a little bit of cinnamon on a piece of leather. That's kind of what I'm getting on this one. The color on these are crazy. You can see why they call it the Burgundy of Northern Italy. Is called the Burgundy of Italy because check out the color. I hope I can get it for you. This baby is light. I mean, light color, and it's amazing the amount of intensity you get with that light color. That's what I love about this wine. A little bit of bark coming through, but yeah, a lot more muted than the other one. Let's see what we got on the palate. It's always exciting to me to try it because sometimes the nose is deceptive. Wow, this one just like popped in my mouth. I mean, it actually surprised me. Almost got a little bit of spritziness on it. Could be just my tongue, you know, that can happen sometimes. I don't think I was ready for the amount of fruit on this. I got strawberry and cherry and a little bit of maybe currant action coming through, but a lot of strawberry on this one. Also getting some red plums coming through. Not as complex as the first one, which is surprising. Very youthful. That spritz could be because it's a 2016. That could settle down. It's definitely there. It's not my imagination. It's not my food. It's hitting my tongue and sparkling just a little bit. It is not a flaw, I don't believe. And there's a little, not as much rust in the first one. There is more fruit on this one. This would definitely, I mean, if you wanted to step up to the plate and spend $24, now it could be less than that. I'd go on a wine searcher because my buddy Matthew did not put the cost of this one on the back when he handed me the samples. Well, actually, the driver for this company dropped them off, so I should have looked it up in the catalog. Did not do that. Just took it home. Here I am. So I looked in wine searcher, $24. Red flowers on the back side, big time. It definitely shows more rusticity on the back end, but right up front you get that hit of strawberry, red plums, and cherries, maybe a little bit of currant coming through, and get a little bit of rust underneath, but not much. A little grippy on the back end. Definitely a food wine. Again, I could drink this by itself because that's just the way I am. It's the way I roll. There's a lot of guys, you know, a lot of you know what I'm saying that are watching this. You like to drink these kind of rustic wines by themselves and enjoy them. But this is even better for just breaking into Nebbiolo and it actually says it on the label. I like this wine a lot. The first one I like better for different reasons. I mean, but it's all palate preference, right? I think a lot of people are going to love this wine. I think it's a great wine. It's got a lot of red flowers, all those elements that I was talking about. But I'm just going to go down to a straight up B+ on this one. I'm not going to hedge toward the A- side. But I would be really curious. In fact, I'm going to get a couple of bottles and tuck them away, because I think with a couple more years on it, it might evolve even more. Surprising amount of fruit, really. I'm surprised, but I'm going to go B+. I like it. 24 bucks, good value. Gets a little bit of that rusticity, that rusty action on the backside. I like that. Yeah, straight up B+. Let's move on. Now we're going to go to the big boy of Piedmont, Barolo, if you want to. Barolo. I don't know. Whatever. I mean, really, does it impress you when people roll their tongue and do all that? This is the 2010 Domolano Langhe. Okay, I did not look this up on Forvo. Langhe vine. I hope I didn't butcher that too much. Langhe vine, Barolo, 2010. So Barolo, as I mentioned to you, this is $40. Barolo is inside of the Langhe region. It's its own DOCG, which is the highest rank a DOC can get. Means that the wine world respects that area quite a bit. Basically, that's what that means. Okay, sorry for the silence there. I was thinking about something. There you go. 2010, so this has 7 years on it. Might be too early to drink, but I thought for the sake of research and for the sake of entertainment, I'd break it out. Barolo is considered the more muscular expression of Nebbiolo. Remember, this is a Nebbiolo from Barolo. More muscular expression, whereas Barbaresco, which is also inside the Langhe region, which also produces Nebbiolo and which is also highly respected, is more feminine. That's kind of the basic parameters when you're thinking about Barbaresco versus Barolo. Some people like Barbaresco a little bit better, some people like Barolo. I happen to like both of them equally. Let's see what we get on the nose. Now this has more color to it. I don't know if you can see that. A little bit more color, but not much. It's still very light. Let's see what we get on the nose. Oh, right off the bat I got cinnamon. It just hit me. Solid cinnamon and tobacco. Leather. Getting kind of a brambleberry sort of thing on the nose. Blackberries. This one's, it's hard to extract the fruit aromas out of this one. But that cinnamon just hit me immediately. Now it's a little bit, has calmed down a little bit, but got a little bit of the goatee going on. I shaved finally after no shave November. I shaved down to this, then I'll shave down to a stash, and then I'll shave it off. I love smelling wine. I love trying to extract things. You probably notice that, of course. But I would encourage anybody that's drinking wine, all of you out there, just take up a little bit of time and smell it, because that really enhances the wine experience a lot. And I think not enough people do it. A lot of people think it's silly. You'll say a flavor and say, no, I get that now, but that's only because you said that. But that's not true. I like to get, honestly, and I don't want to go on a rant here, but I'm going to go on a little one because I know I don't want to make this long. But I like to get in a group of 4 or 5 guys and have them smell it, and they'll smell things out of that wine. And it's not the power of suggestion, it's just that they nailed it. And when they nail it, you just know it. When a guy says, I'm getting kind of cotton candy out of that. I would have never thought of cotton candy, but he nailed it. And because he said that, not because of suggestion, he nailed it. And it's nice to get in a group like that because then you start really getting a lot out of that. And I think I would just encourage you, and do it by yourself if you're kind of embarrassed to do it in front of people. Maybe you are, maybe you think it's silly. You're not a wine snob if you do that. You're just enhancing that wine. It's like food, you know, a lot of times we like to smell brownies, for instance. They smell delicious. You might sit there and just smell it at first. Some people just smell them and put them down so they don't eat it and get fat. You know, I mean, I can't eat brownies. Well, I do occasionally, but not very often. And a little bit of like, almost reminds me of like iron coming through. Let's see what we get on the palate. Obviously, a lot deeper than either one of these. There's layers that are not even expressing themselves right now. You just get, I get this deep, dark fruit that's coming through underneath, like blackberries and black plums and strawberry and a little bit of white pepper on the backside. And they're all kind of, it's almost like they're under a cap of like iron and rust. You can just, you get it, but it's, you know, it doesn't taste rusty like this one did. I mean, that was definitely rust. This one is deeper, and, you know, I don't mind opening this one up now. I know this got, I think got 90 points, Wine Spectator or better. I'm not exactly sure, but definitely deeper. And there's just like this, like cinnamon coming through, but not sweet cinnamon, just the essence of cinnamon, if that makes sense. And boy, on the back end, it just grips your mouth. Feels like you just swallowed sand. You know, it's that sandpaper like grip, serious grip. The beauty of Barolo, yeah, red flowers on the backside, big time. Still has the fruit though, hanging on. A little bit of tobacco coming through. Good structure, good balance. Seriously young. This Barolo's 2010, 7 years old. I would go 10 years easy. 10 to 15 years easy. Lay it down if you have the patience. I do have that kind of patience, but I wanted to break it out and check it out. I could drink it now, but I would definitely recommend at least another 5 years. And it'll mellow out even more. It's a beautiful wine. Very complex. Nicely layered. There's a lot going on in this wine. I'm going to go A+. I think it's a beauty. I really do. I like it a lot. And 40 bucks for a Barolo is, believe it or not, is cheap. That's a steal for this wine. Really is. Thanks for taking a little time out of your day and watching. I hope you learned something about Nebbiolo, the Piedmont region, Langhe, all that. Thank you very much for watching. You keep watching. And I keep helping you spend your wine dollars wisely.